1984, published in 1949, is one of the most influential dystopian novels of the 20th century. Written by George Orwell, real name Eric Arthur Blair, it explores themes of totalitarianism, surveillance, censorship, and the manipulation of truth. Orwell crafted a nightmarish vision of a society crushed under the weight of absolute political control, offering a chilling warning about the dangers of unchecked authority. At the heart of Warshgord 1984 lies the omnipresent party led by the mysterious Big Brother. Through an elaborate network of surveillance, thought control, and propaganda, the party seeks not only to control the actions of its citizens, but also their very thoughts. Orwell's portrayal of a world where reality itself is malleable serves as a stark caution against the erosion of individual freedom and truth. Plot summary. The novel is set in Airstrip 1, formerly known as Britain, a province of the superstate Oceania, which is perpetually at war with one or another of the two other superstates, Eurasia and Eastasia. The party, headed by Big Brother, maintains absolute power through a combination of brutal repression and sophisticated manipulation. Winston Smith, the protagonist, works at the Ministry of Truth, where his job is to alter historical records to match the party's ever-changing narratives. Although outwardly obedient, Winston harbors rebellious thoughts and dreams of overthrowing the regime. His secret dissent begins to take shape when he starts writing a diary, a crime punishable by death. Winston's life changes when he meets Julia, a fellow worker who shares his hatred of the party. Together, they embark on a forbidden love affair, an act of rebellion, both emotional and political. Their relationship represents a desperate attempt to reclaim personal freedom in a world where even emotions are regulated. Eventually, Winston and Julia are caught. Betrayed by a supposed ally, they are arrested by the thought police and taken to the Ministry of Love, where Winston is subjected to brutal psychological and physical torture. The aim is not merely to force confession, but to truly make him love Big Brother. Winston is eventually broken, betraying Julia under pressure. In the final scenes, Winston, now a hollow shell of his former self, sits at a cafe, mindlessly accepting the party's control. He gazes up at a poster of Big Brother and feels a surge of love, the party's ultimate victory. Major themes: totalitarianism and absolute power. At its core, 1984 is a profound examination of totalitarianism. Orwell imagined a government that does not merely control people through laws, but seeks to dominate every aspect of their existence, including their innermost thoughts. The party's control is all-encompassing. Through surveillance, propaganda, and psychological manipulation, it eradicates the possibility of individual freedom. The phrase "Big Brother is watching you" epitomizes the pervasive surveillance state. Telescreens and hidden microphones monitor citizens constantly. Fear of the thought police ensures conformity even without direct enforcement. People internalize the party's rules. Orwell demonstrates how absolute power corrupts absolutely. The party does not merely seek obedience, it demands love. Reality itself becomes flexible. If the party says 2 + 2 = 5, then it is accepted as truth. The manipulation of truth and history. Orwell emphasizes that control over information is essential to maintaining tyranny. Winston's job at the Ministry of Truth is a grim parody. His task is to rewrite past newspapers so that history always supports the party's current version of events. By controlling the past, the party controls the present and future. The concept of doublethink, the ability to hold two contradictory beliefs simultaneously and accept both, is central to the party's dominance. Citizens must accept obvious falsehoods without question. This psychological manipulation creates a population incapable of critical thinking. The slogan, "Who controls the past controls the future. Who controls the present controls the past," captures this insidious power dynamic. Language as a tool of control. Orwell introduces the concept of newspeak, a language designed to eliminate the possibility of rebellious thoughts. By narrowing the range of thought, newspeak makes heretical ideas literally unthinkable. The destruction of language thus parallels the destruction of freedom. If people lack words to express dissent, they cannot conceive of dissent itself. Orwell's linguistic invention reflects his deep understanding of how language shapes human thought, psychological manipulation, and fear. Through the depiction of torture and re-education, Orwell explores how fear and pain can reshape even the most deeply held beliefs. Winston initially resists the party's efforts to control his mind, but under the horrors of Room 101, where prisoners are subjected to their worst fears, he is broken. The novel's most terrifying implication is that love, loyalty, and even personal integrity can be utterly obliterated under enough pressure. Winston Smith. Winston is an everyman figure, not particularly heroic, but deeply human in his yearnings for truth and freedom. His rebellion is not grand or organized, it is deeply personal. His journey from quiet dissent to active rebellion and finally to utter submission highlights the crushing power of the party. Julia. Julia represents a different form of rebellion, more pragmatic and hedonistic. She is less interested in ideological purity and more in reclaiming personal pleasures denied by the party. Her relationship with Winston illustrates the human need for intimacy, autonomy, and genuine emotion. O'Brien. O'Brien is a complex antagonist, initially appearing as a possible ally, but ultimately revealing himself as a loyal servant of the party. He represents the ultimate betrayer, embodying the party's cold, remorseless intelligence. Through O'Brien, Orwell explores how oppressive regimes manipulate and destroy individuals. Although he never appears in person, Big Brother looms over the novel as a symbol of the party's omnipotence. Whether or not he actually exists is irrelevant. That belief in Big Brother is crucial to the party's control. Historical and political context. Written in the aftermath of World War II and amid the rise of totalitarian regimes like Stalin's Soviet Union, Hitler's Nazi Germany, and Franco's Spain, 1984 reflects Orwell's deep fear of authoritarianism. He had witnessed how propaganda, censorship, and mass surveillance were employed to consolidate power and crush opposition. Although the novel is a work of fiction, its depiction of systematic lies, historical revisionism, and cults of personality resonates with real-world events. Orwell was particularly critical of the ways in which political language can obscure truth and justify atrocities, a theme that remains urgently relevant today. Impact and legacy. Upon its release, 1984 was met with critical acclaim and public fascination. Over the decades, it has become a cornerstone of modern literature, often cited when discussing government overreach, surveillance, censorship, and the erosion of civil liberties. Terms coined by Orwell, such as Big Brother, doublethink, thought crime, and newspeak, have entered the common lexicon. The novel's vision of a dystopian future continues to inspire political discourse, art, film, and popular culture. In many ways, 1984 serves less as a prophecy and more as a warning, a vivid depiction of what could happen if vigilance against tyranny fails. In today's world of mass data collection, fake news, and ideological polarization, Orwell's message feels more pertinent than ever. 1984 by George Orwell remains one of the most powerful critiques of authoritarianism and the suppression of truth ever written. Through its harrowing depiction of a society where freedom and individuality are obliterated, it reminds readers of the vital importance of protecting truth, privacy, and personal integrity. Orwell's dystopia is not merely a fictional nightmare. It is a call to action. It warns that the battle for freedom is constant, that truth, memory, and language are battlegrounds in the fight for human dignity. As long as there are those who seek to control others through lies and fear, the message of 1984 will remain chillingly